Hi guys. It's lovely to see you again. It is Miss Polly, and we are here with Ask Miss Polly today. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for stopping by, checking me out. As always, we are here to build better relationships, no matter what they are, between food, family, friends, uh, anything. Building good relationships is very, very important to building a really, really good personal personal space that's really, really nice. So anyone who's working on themselves, better relationships are going to help you in the long run, regardless of what relationship it is. Make sure you have that really, really strong foundation to really pull things together. Hey, Brian, how are you today? So, as always, we have Ask Miss Polly. You guys know this is our Ask Miss Polly. I usually dual stream with Tag, but I'm not dual stream right this moment, but I did a little earlier while I was getting ready. And our conversation for today was kind of talking about the emotional states. Hey, Brian. So, anyway, hey, Bob's. Anybody, thank you for stopping by. I just want to say hi to y'all. But anyway, we were actually speaking about behavioral things or issues. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is, do men or society allow women to blame their issues or their emotional state on blame their behaviors on their emotional states, and that's what we want to kind of talk about today. So one of the big issues that a gentleman came to me today was that there are a lot of women he noticed that are using these emotional responses as a reason why they can be ridiculous. Okay, there's several examples, so we're going to just kind of walk through that. Okay, so when he asked the question, I, well, we brought up the question. To me, I feel like this is very, very valid. One of the things that I noticed with my teenage boys, one of the things that they were saying was, "It's not fair. Girls can do this and this and this, but I can't. I can't go up to a girl and say, hey, or slap them or hit them. You know, girls can just hit me and beat up on me, or they can just like do these things. And I have to contain my anger, I have to contain my emotions, and I'm supposed to stand hard in that, right? And I can't really do anything. And I just have to let them do it. Okay, that is valid. So I told my children, you're right, this is not right. You know, they shouldn't be able to do that to you. And then when I ask them to tell teachers and things like that, they'll tell me, oh, well, the teacher says, well, you know, you're a boy, she's a girl. You know, it's just what girls do, or they might be on their period, or listen, that's not valid. That's not valid at all. First off, regardless of who it is, if you think of it like this is a person who's telling you, hey, someone keeps hitting me all the time or slapping me or whatever. If a girl ran up and slapped the guy's butt, they're not supposed to say, oh, it's okay. What if you don't like that woman to touch you, put her hands on you? But you're supposed to be okay with those things. And this isn't right. So when my sons came to me, I said, yeah, but that's not right. And he's like, well, she can come call me names or whatever. But as soon as I get all rough and buff, when my sons kind of got rough and buff with a woman, um, and it wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna beat you up. It was just like he just was like, no, I'm not gonna back down from you talking to me this way. You're using disrespectful language. You're not gonna keep talking to me like that, and it's not okay. And he was told that he was in the wrong because he stood up for himself. Now, if it was another gentleman, they wouldn't have said anything. They probably would have told him good for standing up for yourself. But since it was a young lady, they said that he was being too aggressive and that she's a girl. And even if she did that, he should let it slide, basically. And he was really upset about it because he's like, it's not fair because I feel like girls can just do whatever they want and they can just say it's because I'm a girl. And it was true. And in that moment, I was like, dang, that's really true. So that's happened to me with my kids, and I tell them, no, it's not right for someone to do that to you. So these are the things we're talking about. Now, I've seen also one thing I don't push real hard on is I know everyone says keep these women in their femininity, all that stuff. There's a difference between saying that, hey, they're a little bit gentler, they're not used to these things because they're doing a particular role in life. That's okay. Okay. But letting them get away with all kinds of crazy things is too much. There is a line. So one thing I don't allow is for people. or allow in my mind and in my house is for people to say things like, "Oh, my period is a reason why I can't do my job at work." I've seen girls go home because they're on a period. Listen, and this is from someone who's probably had worse periods than all of y'all. I'm gonna be real honest with you, ladies. Okay? I have had polycystic ovaries I found that out when I was probably like 14 years old. Okay. And I've had issues and dealt with that drama the whole many years. And I was not allowed to run around and treat people like crap, do what I want to do, talk to them any kind of way, and say, "Oh, it's my period," or "I can't function," or "I don't understand that." Now, even to the extent of when they're saying, "Oh, I need chocolate, I need can't," I'm like, for what? For what? Especially these women now, these young ladies now. You can be big, rough, and gruff and about it, jumping on tables, talking about ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do, all this hand slapping, all that. But let you get a cramp. Now you need ice cream. You need hugs and kisses. How that work? That just doesn't make sense to me. So if you can be about it, a little cramping or hurting, or you did, especially if you're an older woman, you didn't already did that. You didn't have that since you was 14. You about to be 25 and you can't pull it together. No, that sounds crazy. That sounds ridiculous. You know what that feels like, and you know it's every month. You know it hurts. You prepare yourself. You get what you need to get, and you sit and be in your peace. Get your hot water bottle, do whatever. That does not give you the right. That does not give you the right to wake up and call people names, treat them bad for doing nothing. I've even heard people say these things memes where, woman's like, "F you, I want to get divorced, blah, blah, blah." And then they'll be like, "Okay, babe, I'm just gonna get you your ice cream, your hot water bottle." First off, you being in pain has no reflection on you being emotionally damaging to your partner. Point blank. If you're in a time of need, especially if they're willing to help you and be next to you and be by your side, you have no reason to get out of pocket with them, because that's the person who's taking care of you. Because everyone else, while you have a bad attitude, is not sitting there and being nice to you. Okay. Yeah, ice cream my dog. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't do that. That's not right. And then women who think that's okay, or, "Oh, babe, thanks for treating me so good when I was on my period." And, women talk a lot about the times where, they're not feeling like they're getting their needs met emotionally. But especially if you have someone like that in your life who is trying to be there and support you and to let you be you, you know, the thing you're doing is you're telling them all these crazy things. And it's just out of pocket. But let a man have a bad day. He will have to put on his mask. That's a strong emotional person. He has to put on his mask and come home and act like at work he wasn't battling with people, that he didn't have to cuss out Bill because Bill don't do his job, and that he had to work a lot harder today. And then when he came home, he's not really supposed to bitch about it, because then he's not he's not a man. And then has to come home and still tend to your emotional needs and not be able to reflect on anything. Um, and it's cool, because that's what a man's supposed to do. I I think there is this extreme difference between, you know, emotions. I think everyone should have a middle. Okay, be the queen of middle. I must be. You don't have to be so extreme all the time. You don't have to go all the way over to the left, over to the right. I don't think men should come home and just fall apart. No, but it is a difference between coming home and you put on this mask and you're never able to decompress, you're never able to show yourself who you are and how you feel, because you were going to be put down and called names and all kinds of things. And I'm doing really well right now because I do have a potty mouth sometimes. But you being called the P word, doing all this, and women looking at you like you're not the goat if you show any emotion. I don't think that's fair. And then you turn around, and when he's acting hard all the time, you're like, he never shows emotion. You don't want him to. You call him soft when he does. So where are we at? Where are we at? You ask for one thing, but you expect another. it doesn't make sense. You have to be able to see that, right? I don't know. I don't think a lot of people see that. And it's hard. It's really hard to see people go through these stresses. And I just don't really like it, to be honest, because it makes me think that, like, when I'm raising my even my children, it's hard to tell them, yeah, it's not fair, but it's just how society is, or I'm not going to agree with that because it's not agreeable. I can't agree that when you come home from work, you can't look upset, you can't be mad. But then I have to also tell you in the same breath, but no one wants to be with you if you come home with a bad attitude and don't put on your mask and give her kisses and treat her right for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? Now there is a place, that middle we talking about right now. It's where you can be upset, but don't put that on me. Now that is something that I even try to find the middle with, because I think one of my partners, when we were all staying together, one of my things was I used to come home and complain about things that happened at work. And sometimes it's agitated, I just want to vent. But he would say like, hey, listen, like, leave that at home. Leave that outside the house. Not at home. Leave that outside the home. And I was like, okay. Because he's like, I come home and I don't tell you about the horrible things that happen all the time. And maybe today I just want to hear something positive. Then you came in with that energy. And so you do have to find that middle. So when you come in, let's have a positive moment. Hey, kid, or ask, hey, you know what? I just need to vent for a little bit. Can we just get 30 minutes of venting? Can I get something? Because I'm really struggling. Or you know what? I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna talk to my friend real quick. Because I had a rough day and I don't want to put that on you. And that can be conversations you have with your partner and then discuss those things. But I think no one should be hiding their emotional state. Okay, let's read some of these little comments here, Bo. Bob. Hey, it's nice to see you, Bob. Let's go ahead into this comments, Bob. Bob says, get him ice cream and my dog in a car that says get well soon and go for a walk for now. You could do that. That is a very good option. Very good option. Females need security and safety for men. You know what? How a female is going to tell me what is a man, and they never step in a man's shoes. And I'm not putting on my mask just for gush. We don't say that. Okay. That's what I would do if the woman has her period and she's grumpy and rough day at work. That's what booze is for. So once again, I will acknowledge that that's why I believe a lot of men who they say the mask. I'm not saying, oh, you got to hide, but the emotional state that most men are when you see a household, all that, you see a lot of men do tend to go to alcohol, weed, whatever. They go to that place because that brings them to a place. But people who have addiction issues, they can't do that because they can't just slip into that because that comes a routine, right? So you want to be careful too with that. You don't want to rely on something that's addictive to really ease you. And I think don't relax if it helps you relax. I'm not saying that, but depending on that every day is not a good place. It's not good for your health. It's not a good place to be. I would say will refer you to find a way to work on that and find what helps you relieve that. Some people go to the gym. I'm not saying that, but see, look, that's adding a positive step to it. So there's got to be something that's not going to be hurtful to you that's helping you relieve that stress, if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to put on your partner, if it's talking to someone else. And this is one of the pluses about being poly, is that everyone that you are connected to may have a really special part or place in your system. Some people may have, that's why I don't think there's really like any, if people say it's flaws or things you're not good at, yeah, that is true, but those may work in your advantage because where you do less at, you are added in abundance somewhere else. So if you're a person who like keeps themselves and all that, you may be really good at organizing, you may be really good at this. And that lack somewhere else makes a positive in another place. And all of that, I need that because I don't have that. And so what I'm doing is I'm coming to you and saying, hey, when I get off work, I need someone to vent to, and you help me relieve this stress, and I will come to you. And that is sometimes what some partners are for some people who are poly. They will go and say, hey, I need that amp in the morning. I'm going to talk to my partner who goes to the gym at 5 in the damn morning because I know they're up and they got that positive flow. Now, when I want to be soothed, I'm going to go to my other partner who likes to be calm and soothe, and they're doing meditation, and I'm gonna go to them because they're on a different platform. They're on a different level. Okay, so there are people who are put in our lives that help us be a better person, well-rounded, or help us learn how to be or function in a better manner. Okay, so I will say that. Okay, let's go next one here. Listen, I appreciate women, but if you don't understand or at least try to feel what I'm feeling, why are you even here? And that's true. And that's where I said that you have to find a balance. It takes time. A lot of partnerships like this that are long term, you go through these ups and downs, right? You'll get to know the person's bad and good. You see how they are, and then you can feel that out. So yes, I when you were saying you're going to take on the journey, and I think that was another question that we'll probably do a lot about. Go back that way, bro. You can go ask Esmond, okay? So sorry, there is different parts of your life that you're gonna go through, right? Your ups and downs, and you're gonna have to go to your partner and be like, I want to do this journey with you. And then when you have a person who's your boyfriend, they say, what's the difference between a boyfriend and a husband? That to me is a difference because there are some people who are there to enjoy the moments with you, but not that long term things. And that's where I think solo poly really comes in because there's people in solo poly who don't want long term connections with people. They don't want to live with anybody. Don't want finance with anyone. They don't want none of that stuff, right? But they want to have that relationship with them. So it's a it's a really interesting kind of development when you get into poly because you are going to be just diving into so many different places that you would take years to get to or you wouldn't even get to in your lifetime for emotional places and things like that. Okay, so find a person who's been that journey with you, like you said, and if they're willing to do that. Now, if you're a monogamy, absolutely, this is the number one thing you want to do. Make sure someone wants to go through the ups and downs with you. I think people overlook that. Some people get in relationships and they only want to be with them when they're up. And when they're down, they don't want to be down with them because they're down is not something they can handle. Well, that's not someone you want to have a partnership with for life because they're not going to be there when something goes bad because they really only enjoy the up you. Okay, so that's really important. So let's go down here. I was kidding about the booze. I know I know you're kidding about the booze, but no, there are. But I had to mention it because there are some people who do use that as a way to get away or function. And then you have some people that find that normal. They find it normal, and it's not even healthy. I've seen it, and it's not even bad. Like, oh, go give myself some drink. Yeah, you do that every day. Okay. And that's why we got beer bellies out here and all this. And or you're gaining 40 pounds because you're just drinking vodka. This is not gonna work, right? Okay, so which one's that? I drink decaf tea, lots of sugar. That's very oh Lord. That doesn't even make sense. How you gonna get the decaf coffee and then put sugar in it, sir? That's one to know. Anyway, so okay, Brian, let's go with Brian's one. 1% of the world is good hearted. The other is confused with hate in their desire for sex. Not looking for a good one, but I'm open for a woman who caters to my emotion. Okay. No, it's all for me. Okay. Now this is something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I say, okay, let me go back. So back in 2000 when COVID hit, everybody was in a state of just trying to meet people, get to know people, all this. And then what happened is everyone was getting to that place where they just wanted to communicate. And a lot of people didn't understand what it involves to be fully in relationships until that moment. Because they didn't do anything else but have to interact with people. And this is why relationships were so very important during even COVID, after the kind of relationships we had with technology, relationships we had with each other, our friends and family, they were challenged during this time. But no one saw how challenging it was to be emotionally connected to people and technology and food and the relationships we had with people, everything was put into focus and you recognize that relationships were very stressed sometimes they're happy, sometimes bad. People really struggled if they didn't have really strong foundations. And then you also saw this blossoming of people talking about, oh, what's a good man, what's a good woman, blah blah. Because you know why? Because when you had to sit at home with your partner, you saw the flaws up close, and for 24 hours, a lot of times, you were immersed in your partner. And if you weren't immersed in your partner, you're immersed with your family, your children, and you saw things you didn't have to see before. Because when you can go outside your house and go to work and go here and there, you do not have to deal with those things, right? You don't have to deal with those things. But that's where the focus had taken place. And now that it's removed, you see that people aren't talking about it as much, or they wanted to move away from talking about it. Well, that's fine. But the reason why they came up is because there was dysfunction to begin with. It's just now that it's thrown in your face and you can't run. You can't run from those things. Okay? So let's go back to our topic for the day. We want to make sure we stay on track today. So yeah, the bad behavior should not be validated by emotions. So another example, like I said, the ladies on their period was one. That is a big thing that I see. Um, a lot of people are allowing women to validate foolishness with emotion. Oh, well, we're emotional creatures, so if I come out of pocket, it's because I'm emotional, or you're rude, it's because you're emotional. These are not valid reasons to be a bad person. These aren't valid reasons to do anything. So, and that also includes cheating. Cheating. Okay, cheating. This is valid right here. Okay, women will go out there and cheat and come home and say, "Well, baby, you weren't paying me attention." That's not valid. That is not valid at all. That's not valid. I'm gonna be honest and go for the other way too, men too. This is not valid reasons. This is you not trying to work on things that are bothering you. Know, each person is different, absolutely. So, what is your issue? Why is it that you want to step out? Some people, I've seen them step out because they don't know how to deal with emotion, and what they want to do is be immersed in positivity and something that helps them forget what they're doing, and they'll just go on sex with someone to have that contact with someone else, the feeling, love, that energy for whatever how long it lasts, and then it's done. And they actually didn't want anything to do with the actual person. These are bad behaviors, and then you turn around and say, "Oh well, I'm just going to validate it because I was upset." You using sex to heal or using sex to feel good or better for about a situation is not a way. You need to deal with those emotions, deal with that. And if the person you're with cannot manage that or deal with those things, then they need to, really evaluate the relationship they're in, possibly leave the relationship they're in. It's not a good relationship. If every time you feel stressed, you run out and violate your boundaries with your partner, that is not a relationship I want to be in. I don't want to be in a relationship where every time I mess up or make you feel a particular way, you have reason to do whatever you want and act out. That shows lack of self-control. That shows that you have no control of anything you do, because now that means that no matter what, you can now say, "Oh, it's because of this." That's not cool, and that's not gonna work. Let's go down here. The COVID was you had a lot of sex. Let me put that up here. Listen, having a lot of sex. Okay, there's a lot of people who had a lot of sex. Yeah, because that was it. It was bored. People who are bored have a lot of sex. People who are bored and people who don't have a lot to do, they will have a lot of sex. That just makes sense because sex is an activity, feels good. That's what you're doing. Um, you're getting, high from it. Dopamine's all high. That's what you're doing, basically. So bored people have more sex. They do. More people have more sex. That's what they do. You need to do something with your time. And that's why you can tell. So more sex you have was more shallow sex, because a lot of people aren't having sex to connect with their partners. They were having sex to just have sex. Just have sex. Okay, let's go down here for this one. Okay. If you're not getting sex I want from a woman, then chances are I'm not going to be into her. I'm going to keep 100 with her about it. Okay, so you're saying, okay. He said, if I get sex I want from a woman, there's a my answer her. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. The desire to want to be connected to them physically. Hmm. I do think you're gonna have a desire to be with people you want to be with. But if you're not having to, hey Jack, if you don't want to have sex, making me think now, right? Have guys not have sex with women? Yeah, no, men are gonna wanna they're gonna want to touch it because they fantasize. I think guys have a little bit more fantasies about women. Not saying women don't have fantasies about men, but definitely I think I I definitely think you're gonna want to be physical with them. So, yeah, so if you're not even trying, yeah, you're probably not into her physically. Um, and that's where platonic partner come in. That's what I would call it. Platonic partners. If you're into poly, yeah, people who you just like. I'd like to be around them, and I think I had that struggle. I'm trying to stay on top of here, but I had that struggle when I was younger. Um, I wanted to, I wanted to have a lot of platonic relationships, lots of them. Um, yeah, exactly. You just want to have horn sex or X. I don't know what words you can say on here. I'm trying not to be too bad, but uh, yeah, yeah. I think I wanted to have connection. Like, okay, so I was really into video games, things like that. So there was a lot of guys. Like, I just like to hang around the guys because I all hung around when I was younger. I didn't want a desire to things that girls were really into, like Barbies and such. I didn't want to do that. I'm like, dang, where is the Sega? Like, I didn't want no part of that. I wanted to play video games. Uh, I wanted to I don't know. I wanted to beatbox on the table. I didn't want to do all those things. Okay, like I did not want. Yes, video games, sir. Right, but yeah, video games. I wanted to like jump off the roof. I wanted to ride my big wheel. Like I said, Sega. Yes, Sega, Nintendo, uh, N64. That this is that's where I belong, y'all. That's where I also played RPGs for a little bit. I got a little bit carried away with that. But anyway, the point is, I didn't really connect with women like that, and so as a young girl, it was hard. Like I'm over here. I said Sega, Sega. I didn't say Saga. Okay, listen. Let me do what I do. But I definitely was. I did say Saga. Okay, I'm sorry. It was Sega. Just let me be great, okay? I just listen. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, the whole point is I was playing lots of games and I enjoyed all of it. And I was very, very tomboyish. I was a guy, I said guy, I was a lady who was riding down, heels on bicycles with four people. Like that was where I was living. And and that's where I was living. No, don't. Yeah, exactly. I did say Sega. Anyway, that's the point. I ended up being very, very tomboyish, and I don't want to be that way. And I couldn't really connect with ladies. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this real quick. So I was connecting to the guys. I was having a great time, and when I got older, that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to have those relationships, and it was really, really hard because when you're a teenager, a lot of people are going through that lovey dove, puppy love stuff. And when guys would try to talk to me, I'd be like, "Oh, what are we doing? Like, no, like we're gonna play football or something." Like, I was really like, I wasn't vibing with it. It was confusing. I had no real attraction to anyone until like, geez, like middle school, like 10th grade. I felt like I was forced to pretend to like people. So I think like in fifth grade or something. Someone was like, "Oh, this guy liked you," and like he brought me candy and stuff. Like I did not like this guy. Like I didn't really care, but they said I should date him, and like I let him buy me candy and stuff that he probably stole my money out of his mom's purse and stuff like that. And I just was like, yeah, I didn't really care. Like I was like, no, like we're gonna still play today, right? Like I didn't really care about that. So now as this person I am today, I still like those things, and I tend to basically sometimes get into these platonic relationships. I won't even say platonic. I'm like, yeah, like I really like to be around them, but I don't like want to be with them. And so it's a very weird place to be in. But it is what it is. So I can see a guy wanting to be around a woman. I'm not a man, so I don't know. To be around a woman and not want to have sex with her, I can see them doing that. But like he wouldn't participate with her like with certain things. That makes sense. Okay. Anyway, hi Black. How are you? It's lovely to see you. I've been seeing you all over these streets. Oh, okay. Let's read this. Okay, listen to video games are cool, but I understand. I'll take that. But being a masculine is not my twist. Only one in here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I was a whole man. Jeez, right. What I said was the activities I like to do were considered boyish, which I don't really care now. But yeah, like I'm that person right now. I'll be like, shoot, like I want to go. Like if you told me, like I'll probably be very active. Like I want to climb a tree. Yes, I do want to do that. I want to climb a tree. Yes, I do. I do want to do that. I want to play video games. Yeah, I do want to do that. Do I want to play air hockey? Do you want to play basketball? And I'm not talking about playing basketball. Like when I get in this game zone, it is the game. Okay. I turn into that guy who's competitive. And I don't mean like my man, but I mean I turn into that person who's very competitive. And I'm like I won. Like you can't see me. What? Like, yeah, I get a little carried. That is very, very plausible. I do get carried away. So I do like those kind of activities. So yes, I can see somebody being very, very platonic and just enjoying who that person is. But and it's nice to have that. Where someone likes to do activities you like to do. So yes. But emotions should not be the reason to validate bad behavior is our topic. I'm gonna keep on that. Don't do that. Now you didn't came in here, you Black, and then you talking garbage. You know what I'm talking about? No, there isn't anything wrong with that. Girls can't. Let me tell you something. Don't get this curry on your ass, okay? Because things will go bad, and then you'll be very upset. Okay, don't challenge. Don't challenge the pros out here. I ain't even bald in a while, and I put some work in. Okay, don't do that. Don't be out here. Don't let me mess up your ankles. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. Last time I played, I had some, like I be out there trying to really. I go to the gym, and I be in the gym trying to play with them gentlemen out there, and they be thinking they trying to think, oh, you cute. I'm cute until I shoot this three in your face, and then I ain't cute no more because now you trying to you getting all in your feelings. Okay, and no, I'm not gonna pretend that you can't catch. You can't catch. You can. Let me stop. Okay. Don't be that guy. Okay. I don't want you to be that guy who get your feelings because that will happen out here, and then you will feel some kind of way. Okay. So we're just gonna leave that where it is. One day you will see that these moves have no boundaries. Okay, because everybody can get these hands. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. I definitely do like playing sports. I'll put out there. Even my partners, like we had a battle last summer. It went on for a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Because I was doing me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Shoot, I'm quiet, and then all of a sudden, they got into. I'm always winning games. I ain't never lost. I don't know what that's about. I don't know about loss because I only win. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know. That's all I know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to. Never mind. We're gonna keep going with that. Anyway, emotions should not be a reason to validate bad behavior is our topic. If you guys are just pulling up to the conversation, that's what we're talking about. Okay, pull this part out my phone. Oh, you choose you. Oh, you should. Choosing me is never a bad choice. I'm just never been a bad choice. To be honest. Okay, because it's just not a bad choice. But absolutely, bad behavior should not be validated with your emotions. And like I said, speaking kind of to the women, I talked about my sons a little earlier. But yeah, saying that you can treat people any kind of way just because you're in a particular mood or emotions, I just don't like that society is just putting this as an okay thing for women to do. Oh, if they don't feel comfortable with this or whatever, or and I don't want to use the example. I'm trying not to. People say the body shaming, or women don't want to, they get into body counts and things like that. And they're saying, this and that. But when people have these kind of conversations, you also want to make sure that you're talking to the proper group. I think that's a really an issue. Okay, so one of the issues is, I think, when I have conversation, and a lot of people were trying to get on me about this a while ago, and I said, I'm telling you why I do this. In certain conversations, I will give you a particular answer. It may not match with another conversation, and this is why. Okay, and this is why. Because if you ask me if I can answer a question as a monogamous person, I'm going to give you that answer. If you ask me that, if you ask me a question as a traditional woman in monogamy, I will answer that question for you. If you ask me another question, or ask me the same question, and I say, okay, I'm going to answer you this way, I'm going to answer you as a poly person, will not be the same answer as a person who would be monogamous, who's traditional. It's not the same, because we're not even in the same realm. And I think people don't realize that. They think, oh, everyone has to fit into this cookie cutter shape. We are not all the same. And we're not even in the same lane. We're not stay in your lane. If you want traditional monogamy, stay in that lane. Stay in that lane. Stop trying to date people who are all the way over there doing their own thing. And that's what the issue really is you try to mesh with people you have no business with. Ain't got no business with. And if you do decide to go outside your lane, because I'm not telling you not to go outside your lane. If you go outside your lane, know there will be challenges, and know that you will have to find the middle. And that's fair. And I'm not saying that because I'm being an ass. I'm saying that because I do it. I do it right now. I am a person who is poly. And I date monogamous people. I am always outside of my lane most of the time. And when I'm outside my lane, I also know that there's going to be conflict, and there's going to be discussions that need to be had, because we're not playing in the same field. And I have to be like, hey, listen, okay, we have to find a way to make this work, or you're gonna have to compromise, because we're not on the same mind flowing. You have to think above all of that. Because if you're thinking, oh, I'm in this lane and this is what happens when we're in here, this is for poly people too. Don't get lost. It's for y'all too. Poly people who try and date monogamous, trying to hope that monogamous person is going to accept you for who you are and not have an issue. That just sounds ridiculous, because they coming from another place that doesn't have anything to do with you. So they're going to be confused. The feelings they feel are valid to some degree. And if they're valid, you need to acknowledge them and work on them and talk about why it makes you feel that way. There's a lot of conversation that has to take place, because you have to work those kinks out. And that's what I was saying back, when COVID happened, a lot of people didn't have to have those kind of discussions. It's very, very surface level discussions. But those surface level discussions get boring, because you can have surface conversation in one day in COVID. You have to go deeper. And when you went deeper, you didn't like it. But so you wouldn't have found that out for 6 months if you was just dating regular with no COVID. You wouldn't have known all that crazy stuff. They're wild. But you found that out in 2 weeks. because the time frames are different. When you have full contact with someone, all day contact, no one has nothing to do but talk to each other, interact. You will see those red flags easier. You will see all the issues easier because you're constantly in it, and they will come up faster. Okay. So like I said, stay in your lane. But if you want to go outside your lane, be aware that you're doing such and know that it's going to be challenges. And that's just what it is. Okay, so let's go down here. You will flirt. I am sometimes. What is a traditional woman? Please tell me. So, what I would call a traditional woman. Okay, let me say this. I would say a traditional woman, um, depending on where you are, depending on where you are. So I will say that. Either they're probably really highly faith based, whatever faith it is, be honest. Or away from birth. Okay. They are shown women do a particular task and that they have to deal with certain things and know how to do those things. They learn how to raise children. They actually learn it. Someone teaches them and it's not just shown. And that's why you see a lot more traditional women outside of the United States because that is still a practice that takes place. When everyone migrated to America, those traditions, since they were changing and making their own culture here, those traditions started to lax and they have different traditions that are added on that are not very traditional to their customs from where they came from, as European customs, all that. That's why you see some of it here, but they're not fully here because they didn't teach their children. They wanted to have their own customs and the ways. And so that's what the change is. If you go outside of America, these women have been doing the same thing for centuries and they've been teaching their children certain ways and for women, certain ways for men. And you see that in all cultures. It doesn't matter, we go, because they've been around longer and they're not building their own customs and traditions and freedoms that are free like America. So you go somewhere else, you're going to see women who are taught how to do certain tasks. Not saying you want to do those. See, there's a difference. Let's just put this out there, women. There's a difference between knowing how to do something and doing it. Okay? Because I will tell you from experience, I know how to clean, I know how to cook, I know how to do all these things, but do I want to do them and do I do them all the time? No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay. But as I started getting with partners who deem that important and I want to make them happy, I knew how to do them. I knew how to do it. And I know how to find out how to do it. I knew who to go to if I didn't know. Right now, if someone asks me, do you know how to sew a shirt, baby? No. But I know where to go to find out, and I'm going to go find out and learn. See, this is where there's another level. That's a whole nother level of experience. That is something that's shown in the household when you're 8. Your mom said, hey, can you sew this? Let me show you how to sew this. Let me show you how to cook this food. Let me show you how to make this thing. And it wasn't a big deal. You were shown to do these things, these tasks. Men were shown how to turn, like, change tires, do all this stuff. So traditional woman is a woman who learned how to be basically not just a lady, because that's part important. Being a lady, you cross your legs, you know how to dress a certain way, and it's probably religiously based to the most part. And then on top of all that, boom, you also are learning how to be a wife at a young age. You're learning how to do these things. So that's traditional because you're learning traditions going down. Over here, we are learning traditions. They're just not traditions that are traditionally learned in other countries. So here is known that women are supposed to be, for the most part, we're supposed to be independent, work for themselves, be strong, outspoken, all that. In other countries, women are supposed to be meek, quiet, but there's a way. And the women show other women how to do things. And this is maybe you want to call it manipulation or whatever. Women are taught to be manipulative. And people are like, oh, that's wrong. Being a manipulator is bad when you use it incorrectly. And it'd be like, oh, you're manipulating people's feelings. That is very, very true. But women were shown how to do things to get what they needed. That's still manipulation. And I'll give an example of that. If you're at home, you're like, oh, your man is getting upset because you're doing something, blah blah, and you want him to do something for you. You could do something sexual for them. You can start cooking for them. You can up your game. If he says no, then you bring it down. You're changing your actions to make them match it. And they say, babe, what's wrong with you? Why I haven't been able to get these dishes, so I can't cook right. That's manipulation. Because you're cooking incorrectly on purpose so that he will get you what you need. Because he wants to provide what you need so he can get what he wants at the end of the day. That's all manipulation. And these are, once again, conditional relationships most of the time. So women are taught to live in a conditional relationship and they're taught how to do these things. So when you look at traditional women, they are going to be women who want someone who's above them financially. They're going to want those things because everything their whole life was shown was based on those things. A man supporting you and doing the man's position, and for you to fully take on that role, you have to be supported in these ways. And so that's what a traditional woman is going to look for, those things, so that they can match that energy, because they're supposed to be the opposite of the man. So they're supposed to take the place of whatever he couldn't do. And there's no two sides. So there's no, oh, he comes home and clean. That's no, because he was not taught to do that. So those traditions are shared that way. That's what I would say the traditional woman. And they know their place and role as a feminine role in the home and a masculine role in what they do. And so that's what they're looking for. So if you're looking for someone in that role, you definitely don't want a man who's very, very emotional. They can't get themselves together. They can't keep a job. Those are red flags to you. Not even just red flags as a person, because see, that's modern. Those are red flags, as you can't be in your full feminine place if he can't provide the things you need so that you can continue to do your role. And your role can't be fulfilled because he's not doing his thing, because now you're taking on his task. And you were never shown how to do that. So that will be a no-go for you. Okay, so that's what you would see. So traditional women are really submerged in traditions from outside of America. America's modern. They have traditions, but the traditions are modern because they're new. They're new and they're changing constantly. So there's not something consistent here. So modern women will always be modern because and always changing, because nothing is staying the same in America. You go outside the country, they're pretty consistent at staying the same. Even though globalization has changed a lot of that. And you'll see a lot of globalization interacting with other countries and making women react differently or take different things. Like education has changed roles in the homes outside of America. But then you'll see the men reacting because they don't know their place again. Because like I said, you look for particular things in the women and you're raised a particular way. And if someone is telling you your whole purpose was to get married, have a family, and be successful, and you have to be successful by doing this, this, and this only, and then someone says, oh, no, I'm going to do that part too. Like, what the hell? Like, you don't even know what to do. You're confused. So, okay. Let's go back up here. We had a lot of comments come in. Let me go ahead. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's go down some more. Okay, someone said, okay, let me go down. He says, if I know that the woman is very grouchy, it's her time for the month, get whatever she wants and go away for a while until she calms down. Okay, Bob says, you tripping with all that respect, get her whatever she wants. Nah, that pointless because she knows who she is, and so do you. Put her in her place, and talk about it. Okay, it doesn't always work. A lot of time you get out of line of fire. You get out of line of fire. So okay, let's just go back to that. So getting out of line of fire. There are times where people need to have some space. And also there's some times when you need to stay and be like, hey, you need to check that. You really need to know your partner and know when to say it and know your limits. Because you also don't want to get to the place, especially if you're monogamous, where you are getting your boundaries crossed and you're so agitated that you get out the line of fire, but you also got the line of fire and you go find somebody else to fulfill that or make you feel better, because then now you're violating monogamy and you're cheating. So if you're going to cheat, if someone's pressing, making you get to a place where you want to go outside of that, then that is a problem and you need to address it. I know, Bob, but she heard it from you and then bounced until she called or text. You got to think about women and choose what size she wants, or not. If you leave your phone at home, I don't take the phone anywhere. Women can choose what size of a dude she wants until she gets bored from the app, but men, on the other hand, so many topics. There's lots of topics. Yeah, women can manipulate, and they're called boobs. I'm gonna pull that one up. I'm sorry. You're making me laugh. Okay, let's go to that one. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so let me see. Sometimes my phone freezes, so I gotta go to the other screen. I apologize. Okay. I do them dishes and you dry them. I wash and you fold. You cook and I clean. Just let me chill because I blaze. Let me chill when I got the beer in the hand. I drive. I drive you is it best and team effort. Okay, so I will tell you. So we'll put that comment up so you can read that one. So yeah, I do think there is a team effort that needs to take place. Um, but I also think there are some things that we do to help each other, whatever our positions are. So, like I said, find the role that works for you. Stop letting everyone else tell you what's supposed to work for you. This is something that I kind of hate that YouTube, Instagram, all this tell people all these things, and everyone just tries to find one realm and they sit in that. And the thing is, remember that your life is the one you're living, and you're not living anyone else's life. Your situation is different from someone else's. Yes, to some part, are we all in some particular kind of relationship that we can have a common ground, have conversations about those common grounds? Absolutely. Find your lane and then try to talk to people in your lane, because it's nice to have people to talk to about your issues or just vent to. And that is good. But when you're, let's say, like you said, we're looking at people who are complaining, oh well, she's doing this and that, blah blah blah. But this is this: if you have a role to play in your home, and your role is to go to work, you come home, and then on weekends you do stuff with the kids, you have a plan of action. If that plan is working, just because Bob over there says your man should be washing dishes, ain't got nothing to do with you. You may be home all day, and yes, you feel stressed because you have the kids all day, blah blah blah. Well, then you make a way. You look up, instead of looking up YouTube videos on why your man ain't helping you, because you could go ask him more. And if he's like, yeah, you know what, I could do a little bit more. I don't got no issue. Let's do it. Teamwork, baby. High five. Teamwork does, and equal does not always look the same. I actually don't believe anything that is okay. I'm gonna make sure I say this right, because I said this to my partner yesterday. I want to make sure I say it right. Love does not always look the same. And for people, if it doesn't look exactly the same, they think it's not equal. Equal does not always mean that it looks exactly the same, because everyone has different needs, and different needs need to be met differently. So, and I've used this before in videos. One partner you may have may need a lot of physical contact because they love that. It makes them feel good. They didn't have that when they were younger, whatever the hell it is. And you're okay with giving that. Your other partner may not want you to touch them all the time. And it will look to the outside as if you're being more lovey to one partner than the other. But in fact, you're not. And your other partner is chill and fine with it because they don't want that. That's not how they connect with you. That's not what they need. And you're trying to give them something they don't want or need just because it fulfills the fact that you don't know, fulfills for you that you, oh, well, now I make it look equal. No one cares. If it makes you happy and it works for your group or your people, whatever it is, or just you and your wife, let that work for you and your wife. Don't let others from the outside tell you it shouldn't look away, especially when you don't have an issue with it. And you don't have an issue washing dishes while your husband don't wash dishes, because you like that because he goes to work and you don't want to do that. That is you and your house. Run you and your house and your family the way it works for y'all. It will not look like everyone else's, and you shouldn't try to make it look like everyone else's. And so my little phone over here, so I'm gonna go over here. Let's see here. All right. I don't care about teamwork. I just want team effort. Yeah, team effort. This is take take effort to relieve my stress, or just do for us and us. Okay, isn't team effort, teamwork one and the same? Don't have one without the other. Okay, so teamwork and team effort, are they the same? Hmm. Well, no, effort and work are two different things. Because you can put effort into something and not really do a good job at it. Does that make sense? So let's say you're horrible at cooking. You're putting effort into it and you're doing your part, but your part isn't actually working. It's not contributing the right way. I think effort, I mean, I don't know. Let me think about it. I take it in. I'm taking it in. I'm taking it in. Because if you're doing something, obviously you're working. But you know what? Because people can work. Okay, no, I got it. I got it. Okay. When you're working, some people just work blind, just like you're sitting, you're just doing your work. You don't really have any love and effort into it. You're just putting in whatever. Okay, here's their sandwich for today. Here's this. Like you don't have no passion for it. You don't care. I think when you say effort is you actually realizing that you have to actually put in more than just physical interaction with something. Because as long as you're trying, it's you're putting in the effort. Because you can ask your wife to cook you food and she can just throw ramen on every day. She's doing the work, but she's not putting effort into it because she could look up how to make something else. She can look up how to make oxtail. She can look up how to make spaghetti and lasagna. But all she's doing is just doing the work because it's just part of the role she has to play. There's no real effort into it. She doesn't feel like that's going to make a difference. So I think the effort is part of work. Yes, but I think work when the way you're using it, if I am correct, the way you're implying is that just going with the flow and not actually trying your hardest is an issue. Is that what that we're saying? Okay, let me go here. Sorry. Let's go ahead. Just okay. So just think about it, because both people have to make an effort to make something work. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because if you are putting effort to make it work, yes, but just working. I don't think the working was the word we wanted to use. I think that was just the word used, Brian. Am I confused? I just want to make sure. I think the word you said work, but I don't think that was the best word to use. I think what you wanted to say was putting the effort and not being just there. Being present isn't enough. You have to put in the actual effort. Is that what I'm getting from that? I think that's what you're saying. And there are people who are present in relationships just because they're there because they don't want to be alone, because they don't want to have, particular feelings. People who put in effort to make something greater than what it is, putting in additional, like pouring into something is different. Okay. Is that what? Okay. Okay. I think that's what I think. I think the word was just the word choice that we used. Okay. Yeah. He said, baby steps, effort comes first and then work is too hard for people. Okay, yeah, I think that's what you were saying. Oh Lord, sorry guys, I'm just trying to stand. Um, yeah, I think we definitely have to think about pouring in to the relationship, putting the effort to make it work. But actually being just present isn't enough. And I think a lot of people are just being present in relationships. And that's what I think COVID kind of showed. That's what I was trying to say. Like COVID, when everyone had to kind of see their partners all day, all the things that they were hiding or trying not to share, that came to surface because those things they didn't have to acknowledge. Um, and take your time. Yes, take your time is very, very important. So, rush. That's why I say I didn't really think the vetting process was important. I do deem vetting very important now. I actually don't almost want to claim people because I feel like unless you know what you're committing to, because I feel like when you're saying you're someone's boyfriend or whatever, the commitment is different. And so if you're not at that commitment stage, to commit to or know what you're really committing to, I don't think you can really honestly say you want to be with someone, especially when you first meet them and you just kind of know them surface wise, because you don't have enough to commit. And if you don't have enough commit, then this isn't a relationship. We're not in a relationship. We're just getting to know each other. We're just in vetting. That's how I feel about that. Okay, let's see here. Both people have to make effort in relationships, and it takes both. Yeah, I do believe that. Okay. I don't know why my phone froze though. I think it doesn't like me. Okay, anyway, so yes, how long did we go for today? 1 hour, aren't we lovely? So I do want to stop our conversation. But listen, Brian and Bob, okay. I am going to go live again here in a minute. What I do is I've been dual streaming on Tag. So I'm gonna go to Tag and I'm gonna come back and I'll do it again. So you guys, if you want to have more conversation, the next conversation I think I want to have today, because I just want to get at least 2 videos out because I have to work this weekend. But is going to be about the difference between a boyfriend and a husband, and have that conversation of what it looks like in poly. I think those are really, really important, and we want to kind of discuss those things. So that's the conversation I want to have a little bit here, but I want to go on Tag first, check in with them. You said boo? Really, Brian? What kind of So look, this is the conversation, Brian. You just said don't claim it until you have a husband. And that's what I'm trying to, that's the conversation we're supposed to have. I want to dual stream. Okay. I want to dual stream. But I also know my phone is kind of acting weird and I can't dual stream on both at the same time. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, we're gonna make it work. Okay. So I definitely want to bring up that topic because that is a good one. That was good. I heard someone else talking about it yesterday, and I heard men talk about it. I would love to hear men talk about it, what they think. It may be an evening conversation. I'm not really sure, but yeah, what's the difference between a boyfriend and a husband and the role? Now everybody knows that well, your husband gonna do certain things your boyfriend gonna do, but now a lot of times these fox relationships, women are showing men what it's like to have a wife. And then before they become a wife. Now I didn't now this is where people who say, well, how am I supposed to know if I want you to be my wife? I don't see it. And this is my reply to that. Because I don't want to keep rolling it. My reply really is that you can give someone a sample of what it is and then let them know that those are things that you do when you're a wife. I'm not saying stay at that level. Give them a sample. I'm not even talking about putting out. I'm talking about giving them a sample of what it would be like. Because no one knows what that looks like. Okay, let me see something real quick. Let me just look down here. Sorry. Lord. So, okay. Let me go over here. Both relations. Okay, we're not going to have this conversation right now. I'm trying to have both people relations have to put in equal work effort. So it's going to work. Okay, but a man's going to raise his woman up. It does hurt. Okay, so if one person cares and the others don't, then it's a one-way relationship. Yes. So I mean, we're not gonna have this conversation. As I said, we're going to stop this live, and we're going to start it again. But emotions should not be the reason to validate bad behavior was the topic today, and so we're gonna end on that note. You guys, thank you for hanging out with me, reflecting. I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go Tag. I'll probably be back here, so look at your notifications. And then we can have some more conversations. You have a cute nose, but I know you just too much for me. Again, I can be too much for lots of people. I'm amazing. No, but we definitely want to come back and have this conversation. Don't boo me. So we're gonna get off here. I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm gonna come back. I promise you. I want to set up. Give me a break for a second. I'm gonna set up again, get our title, restart, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so if you guys chill out with me, come back, subscribe, hang out, like this video because you know it's cool and I'm the coolest on the street. Okay? All right, guys. I'll see you again. Bye.